All right.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ETF2L Logjam Cup tiebreakers that are happening right now. We've got another triple header for you today, but they're going to be slightly shorter single map games compared to yesterday. My name is Sideshow. With me on the microphone is TurboTabs for his second cast. Is that correct, Turbo?
Yep, that's correct. Hello, world. It's nice to be back.
And on the camera we have Suyooo, who I believe is also making one of his first streaming premieres. And the teams tonight are going to be, we have Seagulls against Project01. I believe it's, let me just check. Do you have any information, TurboTabs, about which is which team?
I have no clue, man. So
here we go. Project01 is in blue at the moment, and Seagulls is in red. So, do you want to run us through the roster? Have you got the roster right there, Turbo?
let me pull it up right here. So Seagulls is in red, correct? So I'm going to imagine their screen names is the same as their in-game names. So, oh man, we got to. I don't even have any of the classes up. You're gonna have to read it out for me, man.
All right, never fear. What have we got? We have Seagulls in the red. On medic, I think is going to be EXO. Their demo man, I have no idea, but possibly the person who's left the server at the moment. On soldiers, it seems like they've got Calicul and T, and their scouts Shalala and Zoob. Oh, and Kane on demo man here. These are all players that are somewhat unknown, but it's going to be really interesting, in my opinion, to see how these players that aren't at the top of the scene play this new map.
Yeah, man, it's nice to see some fresh names, some fresh faces. You know, just a whole new map, a whole new caster, a whole new streamer. It's just really fresh tonight.
Very fresh. And in the blue here, we have Project01. And that's going to be Scissors, Mankey, Hedgehog, Morgus, Damn Easy, and Sprayer on their respective classes. I think they've got it in the server at the moment. Sprayer on the medic, Quartz on Demoman, Morgus and Twink on soldiers, and Scissors and who's the last guy? Hedgehog on scout.
I think I recognise some of those names there. Those Highlander players.
I think some of them are, and I also recognize some of them from streams as well. So everybody knows everybody in TF2. It's a little game, so everybody's got a little bit of an insight into what people are doing at the moment. But the main thing is getting a feel for this map. That's the purpose of the cup, and that's why we're here, why we casted the games yesterday, and why we're going to cast the games today, and the knockout stages later on. Did you get to see any of this map, TurboTabs?
No, man, this is going to be my first. Like, I've seen sneaks and peeks of it here and there, but this is going to be my first competitive run through for today, really. So you're going to have to just show me the way, Poop Show. You're going to have to.
Yeah, I've played the map a little bit, watched some teams on it, and I'm interested to see how lower div teams get their head around the map and what they think they can do and how they decide to hold. I think a lot of the innovation comes from these lower div teams and the players that are from Highlander who aren't afraid to bring out the NGs and build sentries on mid, as we see T practicing for that strat later on. I really hope we see stuff like that. But it is interesting, the kind of things that they're able to get away with and able to try and pull off on these new maps.
Yeah, of course, it's going to be interesting to see how the map will evolve over time as well. I can remember just yesterday that Snakewater came out and everybody hated it, and now Snakewater's developed into this thing that people still hate. But still, new maps, it's always good to keep TF2 brand new and reinvigorating.
Yeah, and that's one of the debates at the moment in the TF2 scene is whether to keep injecting new maps into the map pool or keep it with a kind of close group of favourites. I mean, we saw Turbine last season. This season, we're going to be seeing Logjam. We saw Process not that long ago. I think that was the last one.
I think we're going live.
We have gone live. TurboTabs, take us to this first middle. Who are you going to be watching?
Right, I'm going to watch Kane, the demo man, red demo man. He's rolling out, doing some fancy pogo stick jumps to mid, and he's arrived into the lower door mid. Unusual choice. Usually they roll out on the left-hand side, and the first bomb comes through from Twig? I don't know how you pronounce that name, but still, he's managed to get out flank on the other side. Red keeping relatively to their own side, but here comes Scissors on the big flank. He's coming on, he's behind the medic, he's going for the medic right now. The team realizes and isolates and takes him down. It seems like an easy win for Red. Oh wait, no, the big bomb coming in from blue. Did that manage to...
Yeah,
took out the medic?
That was Swink coming in from behind after he had that initial bomb, went into the log room, flanked behind them as the rest of us was backing out, and managed to pick the med. But now T's in onto Sprayer. He hits a nice first rocket, but Quartz manages to hit the pipe to deny him there. And now they have this Uber, the blue team, or they will do very shortly. But Red have managed to capture the Spire, and they've got that off them, so they're going to have to possibly use this Ubercharge to take back the Spire. Although it seems that at the moment they have backed off and allowed them to take it. Sprayer and his team on that Spire, capping it off.
No, it seems like that heal advantage is just too great for Red to combat, so they back out and decide to just hold them back on mid. They do have an Uber disadvantage though, so they've got to play further back on their half of the point, but they're still going to try and defend this point, not letting them in for free, as Blue tried to make a push out here. Now they're trying to come in here without using their Uber at all, and they seem to be doing a pretty good job of it so far. Maybe Red will hopefully bomb in a player or sacrifice a player, maybe to force out that Uber, and it seems like they're just selecting out picks here and there right now, both isolating players from each said team. And it seems Red seems to hold on to this mid quite well.
Yeah, Red's managed to hold on to it. The Project 01 there not quite making enough of their Uber advantage. They tried to push in, but they lost a few players as their flank went in ahead of their heels. They dropped a few and weren't able to use their Uber charge effectively, so now the Seagulls have got their Uber back up, and we're going to have a little bit of a stalemate around the choke point. But this is what I really like about Logjam. I think it's very easy to push, or it's very difficult to get stuck in these Uber v Uber situations because the choke is so open, because you have these two wide flanking routes of Cave and the log room or Banana on the other side. Mankey at the moment hiding above the new porch, waiting for somebody to come through, but both of these teams just spamming, trying to pick each other off. Yep. Really quite passive play from both of these teams when they could definitely be trying to prod in and get some free damage off and maybe engineer a pick.
Yeah, it is very weird. Like, I feel like this game might turn into quite the stalemate fest, because like it seems teams had advantages early, and when they managed to push with that, nothing really happened. They just backed out as soon as like the wind hit them. So it seems like both teams are kind of content with just like sitting back mostly.
Project 1 are making their move in at the moment though, but Scissors dives to a sticky trap, and the Uber has been forced from T. Sprayer having to pop his Uber off, and now it's Project's job to get over the other side of the point and force XO, which they do manage to do, but they've lost 2 players in the meantime. Twink accidentally killing himself there with his final rocket, and they get the kill on Morgus as well, so that's no soldiers.
Yeah, Red doing an excellent job there, just kiting that Uber initially, and then forcing their Uber and then pushing back with that Uber advantage, that small amount that they had. Now, with that, they're going to get the second point for just about free.
Yeah, Project there didn't have enough players to be able to defend the Spy properly, and Scissors respawned on Sniper, which didn't really help his team. He wasn't able to put any damage out or get any crucial picks, so they're just into a last defense at the moment, and for that purpose they have Mankey respawned onto Heavy. We're going to see our first last push of the game.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see the last defenses on TF2, because it can truly be like a creative thing. You can spawn any class you want, and you can like switch out to that from that class, effortlessly to make the push later. So there's literally no penalty for like using any off classes at this point.
No, there isn't, and only one of them coming out at the moment, but the Heavy is pushing out on the top left. He isn't content just to sit back and wait, but T and Zood trying to make use of that, dropping him down to 100 HP. Seagulls just milling about at the moment. They don't know where they want to push, just kind of hanging around in lobby, waiting for one of the projects to show themselves. But they have bombed T in against a Heavy. That's not going to be effective though, and now they follow in with the U, but this is very controversial. But they do drop the Heavy.
The soldier's still in, Cowley's still in, he's fighting against this Uber. This Uber's just wrecking him though. Does he manage to get out? Oh no, he doesn't, I'm afraid. And it seems like Red are just going to run back with their tails between their legs, and Blue are just going to high-five each other just on another successful defend.
Yeah, a crucial mistake there from Seagulls as they managed to drop their first soldier that went in. It almost looked like a force. He went in that far ahead of his heals. A bit of miscommunication there perhaps, or the Med just trying to buff up his team before they pushed. But they have retained control of the Spire, so there's still some positives, and they managed to equalise the Ubers. So they're just going to be holding now, possibly looking to push, although the Project are doing their own spam on the top left, and Quartz has a bit of a sticky trap, but T is bombing in, trying to get a bit of presence for his team, make sure that they have the lobby under control.
I don't understand why Seagulls popped the Uber there. They bombed a soldier in. They were intentionally going for, right, let's try and just force out this Uber, and then we'll maybe think about our decisions. But it seems like they just went, fuck it, we'll just Uber anyway.
It was a strange decision, I agree, and we're possibly going to see a rerun of it. I would hope we do not. We're going to see something different. Interestingly, Mankey has chosen this time to roll out as Pyro. He's not choosing that heavy, which he was trying to play quite aggressively with. He's instead decided to off-class onto Pyro to box players in as they push from that top left.
Yeah, it seems like they're just swapping out any sort of class, trying to keep the Seagulls on their toes here, never being predictable, not just sticking with that heavy class, just going with what's almost random, keeping them guessing.
Yeah, one of the big differences that I can see compared to some high division teams that I see casting is that there are a lot of individual players trying to peak and getting themselves into bad positions, getting caught out.
Oh,
then,
we got a spy play.
Oh, we have a spy. A spy coming out for the defending team, in fact. This is pretty unusual. You don't often see this. But Twink, I think, saw that they were going to Uber in and just goes back to spawn, changes to Soldier as the double scout Uber comes in from the bottom left. They haven't popped the Uber out from Project. Sprayer finally pops in order to save Morgus. And he's now flashing it around. Shalala and Zoob have both been locked inside, and the rest of Seagulls are going to have to help their team if they want to make anything of this. But it looks like the players from the Project are getting taken out. Superior DM coming out here, and it's only the medic left alive.
I think what we've seen there was just a very successful attempt at recycling the Uber there. So they came in, they used their Uber, and then they forced out Project 1 to use their Uber, and then they just backed out as many players as they can and rotated with buffed health and went back in and just picked on all the fragging classes. Very good play by Seagulls there.
Yeah, now we're going to the second middle. Kane choosing the bottom rollout again, and Quartz, but Kane is so much quicker to this mid than Quartz is. He's putting down a little bit of damage onto the soldiers, but he's on half health himself. It's he that's going aggressive though from the Seagulls, but Mankey and him both get Shalala and him both get taken down in the cave, and so that's going to prompt the rest of the Seagulls players to remove themselves from the entire situation without Project 01 losing a single player, and surely they're going to use this momentum to try and push onto Spire.
Yeah, T having the right idea there, showing a lot of presence on that mid then, but then he chooses once he initially sets up, he doesn't do another bomb in, he just tries to gain hold that rough area. But when the scout went to join him, Project 1 just isolated them and took them both out, but forcing Seagulls to back out. As the Uber comes out for Project 1 here, it seems like a defensive Uber. They got forced by a T, I believe, and it seems like both teams are just a bit shaken by both of the Ubers coming out, and they're just going to go back to each of their halves.
Yes, but Project 01 getting by far the worst end of that. The heals were really quite lacking at the end there, but Quartz picking up a crucial pick with a sticky trap onto T, and that's going to stunt the push completely. They have their own sniper on the field as well. Scissors just rolling out here, getting to mid as a sniper, and he's going to go into log room at the same time as the rest of his players are pushing.
Yeah, Project are pushing on this. Oh, at least Quartz is pushing out there. It's just him by himself. The soldiers come in now. Morgus making a lot of room for his team, pushing the enemy back. Though, question on floor as the red soldier jumping up to the spire there to defend it. Everyone on blue team is caught up now on the same sort of area. T notices this. He goes in for the big bomb. He takes out 3 players.
Huge play there, and only Twink left alive, dueling Zoob on the flank, and he's going to be hiding for a pick. He might jump over. He's got Exo in his sights. He manages to hit a tiny rocket, but doesn't manage to take the kill or force the Uber, and that's a great position for the Seagulls to be in as they are going to be pushing on. They stack the point to deny the spawns of Twink and Mankey, And now they're going to be pushing forward with this full Uber advantage. But Morgus is going to have something to say about that. They haven't spotted him yet, and he's hiding above on the porch area. He drops down onto XO and hits 2 nice rockets. He's going to force the Uber.
This is some very dangerous positioning coming out from Project One. The medic seems to be like disconnected from his players all the time. Not sure what to do in most of these situations. Red aren't catching up on this though, so he gets out unscathed. At least until there was a big flank on him. I don't know where that came from. Who killed it?
Yeah, lots of players from Seagulls dropping there, and they're not able to secure that Spire, with Twink and Scissors both behind them, dueling the flank that has just spawned off the Seagulls. And T, nice airshot from Morgus as he takes down T on Spire. Spire on Badlands, renowned for those airshots, and I'm sure in the next season we'll see a fair few on Logjam as well.
Yeah,
every good map needs a Spire, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does make you call out, like, do we really need a Spire for every single map? But it seems so. After, what is it, 4 or 5 years of competitive TF2, it seems like Spires are the way to go.
Everybody loves a good Spire and an airshot. The airshot potential is too great.
T-bombing in. Oh, he gets caught out, though. He jumps back to his team, rather unscathed, actually. Wow.
Yeah, on very low health though, and he managed to put a lot of pressure onto Quartz, and that's going to stop Project 1 pushing in. They do have a slight Uber advantage, something like 10%, but this is just such a passive play from both teams. It's like a second mid-fight if they were both playing incredibly passively, and they're going to wait for the Uber.
You ever played the game Risk, where you just have all your army men standing still and just like looking at each other? Like, they're both in the same like area, but it seems like nobody wants to do anything. They just want to stare at each other. But Blue finally take the time to just back out here and just realise this isn't working.
At one point there, they had a 25% Uber advantage. XO wasn't building, and he was miles behind on the Uber. If Blue had a little bit of aggression, a bit of confidence in themselves, they would have definitely taken that team fight. But as now they have the heals on top of the Spire, taking that high ground, they're putting a lot of damage onto the soldiers from Seagulls as they hang around on the porch. Oh. Finally, due to the spam, the Uber is popped from XO. Oh, another nice shot there from Morgus, jumping onto the Spire as it takes out Calicool.
Yeah, it seems like Red had the right idea. They're pushing in, like showing some aggression, but like they all stayed on the low ground, and for such a long time they were just getting like spam rained down upon them. And then when their medic finally decided to pop the Uber, it just like they were just all far too low to fight afterward.
They were, yeah, and that's the consequence of taking bad positioning and playing passively on that patio area just outside Logjam. When the enemy team has the height advantage of sitting on Spire, you're just going to eat rocket after rocket, and so much spam from all the rest of their players. So now it's the Seagulls who are defending on Spire. They have a significant Uber advantage, 30%, but holding quite passively at the moment. XO's positioning behind the Spire. It looks like they really value this high ground more than they do locking off the choke points and being prepared to push forward. By the time they get up to these choke points and attempt to push into mid, their Uber advantage could be completely disappeared. And in fact, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Well, after a defense like Project 1 had just earlier, wouldn't you do the exact same thing? Like, they just seem to rain down so much spam on them, they think, hey, maybe we could just do the exact same thing. But I think the slight little difference is the Demo Man have chosen just like slightly different doors to cover. I think the Demo Man on the Project 1 team was covering mostly on the left hand side, but this Demo Man has opted to cover all the doors just a little bit.
And at the moment it looks like the players from Project 1 are moving through that cave area. They haven't had to use their Uber yet, but Morgus takes a huge airshot and he's on really low health. He takes an arrow in midair and now he drops down and is able to survive
huge
that.
Play.
Not even needing the Uber to cross from Sprayer.
The Ubers have been exchanged. It seems like Red are caught in the bad wind of this. The blue Demo Man just forcing out the red team, and now the scouts coming to clean up any of the stragglers on the second point. It seems like it's a last defense for Seagulls with just the Demo Man and the medic up.
Yes, their defense there not effective as they're not able to put down the spam onto Cave and force the Uber early. And now Quartz and Sprayer hanging around on that top right hand area trying to take control of the lobby, but they're just put off a little bit by the spam coming in from Kane. He's going to do his utmost to be able to try and defend this last point. They also have a heavy up in the form of Zoob.
It's nice.
A different Zoob to the Premiership Zoob. I'm sure just as effective.
Yeah, I'm going to call him a Jushi, just as his name implies, like probably how he wants to be called, if he's going to name himself like that. But yeah, it seems like Red opting to go for this heavy only, not the pyro that Project 1 was going for early on their last defense. Let's see if it's any better. And we've got the loose cannon coming out from Kane for the last hold. And the Uber comes in from Project 1. They've focused this mate down here and they force the Uber out. Like we're going to do with the rest of this Uber. They take out a soldier there. They also take out the heavy. This is very good play by Seagulls to say like this was an even Uber exchange, and they're still fighting in this room here. And it seems like they managed to keep out the blue team now.
Yeah, Project 01 not having the most effective push, and now they've backed off all the way onto Spire. They've given up that lobby area completely, despite only having a one-man disadvantage, and Respawn is hot on the way. They move outside, and that's going to allow Seagulls to take quite a bit of room here, but it doesn't look like they're making full opportunity of it. Both the Demoman and the Heavy playing very passively, with only T and Shalala trying to venture forwards. They'll have to be careful not to get isolated without any backup. But Sprayer's managed to engineer himself about a 10, maybe 15% Uber advantage here, and maybe a bit more if Morgus keeps building. I wonder if they're going to push straight on the dot with this. They look like they want to move in.
It's going to be a tough push if they manage to pull off. They need to get that medic immediately.
Oh, a drop from Kane.
The trap from Kane. Very good play by Kane. That trap was essential. Blue was trying to just milk out as much of that Uber as possible, not having to force it, just so they can get the maximum Uber out of that. But it seems like they're down as Red just come out here and just take out an easy second.
Yeah, and that's one of the risks of milking that Uber.
Cap? Soldier be soldier.
Twink on the last point. Oh my goodness! I hope you saw that on camera. That was incredible.
And Twin's still behind. He's fighting a scout now, but the scout wins out. Order is restored.
That was just the classic soldier v soldier last fight.
Type's worth it.
Worth it. Definitely. Twink there running around duking with the escape plan, and T manages to crater himself. That was really unfortunate. Kane's taking a lot of damage there as he picks up the health kit, though, as we follow Seagulls as they push in with the 10% Uber advantage onto this mid. Sprayer hanging back on the ramp at the moment, but they have forced the Uber by putting tons of damage onto the red Demoman Kane. And then he push forward with this, but Sprayer is going to have his Uber charge ready, and they're going to be able to block this middle point.
It seems like a miscommunication coming out from Project 1 there. It seems like some players want to stay in, some players wanted to back out, but like it all worked out in the end, because it's kind of like brought that miscommunication on the Seagulls team as well. As some of them wanted to follow them in, and some of them wanted to just be glad they had middle.
The control point is
yeah, well, that's a full wipe from Seagulls, and that's going to allow Project 01 to push all the way to lobby and to last with this full Uber advantage. At the moment, though, Twink very far ahead of his team, a possible pick if any of the Seagulls push out into their lobby. But now help arrives, backup is here. Sprayer and Morgus looking like they want to push from this top right hand side, but they're going to meet Calicul and T. Uber forced in straight away. Quartz has been dropped. That's no Demoman power. That's so much damage missing from this last push. T taking a little bit of damage, but that's about it. Zoob's still on fairly full health as he guns down everybody, but it's a 3v3 situation.
Yeah, T doing an excellent job there, taking out the Demoman, caught out and from his medic, not popping him there. Onto him there. And it seems like without that Demoman, this heavy just became a lot more devastating, wiping out, I believe, a scout and a soldier during that push.
Yeah, and absorbing so much damage. He's on 27 HP at the moment, and he's run out of all of his bullets, so that was a very extended fight in which he managed to spray 200 rounds into the enemy team before they managed to take him out.
But on the bright side, though, Blue managed to keep their medic alive whilst the red team didn't, so they've got another attempt at it. But can T pull it out again? Can he kill the Demoman as he pushes it?
Yeah, this is another desperate last hold from Seagulls. They managed it last time, but I don't know whether they will manage it again. Morgus and Sprayer looking like they want to push from the right-hand side. Kane again oh, that was a nice direct from Twing there onto Zoob. They have used their Uber on the left-hand side. This time Quartz not being dropped, and a big bomb in from Morgus and Twing.
Shot by Morgus.
Huge plays, and they're absolutely destroying Seagulls there to draw this up level 1-1.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Coming out from Project 1 there. As they roll out for the mid. I'm going to follow Quartz on this mid. Let's see what he has to offer. He's got some very fancy looking rollouts to offer, that's why he's opting to go on this right hand side. And he shoots a sticky on the right hand side, predicting the Demoman. The Demoman actually, opposing Demoman, shoots, goes onto the other side of the cave, it seems there. T gets some initial aggression, but he backs out immediately. Gets taken out by the rollers as it's Red's turn to bomb in, but he manages to survive and come back to his medic. But it seems like red team are just losing out on all these little picks all over the map now, not really coordinating their attacks, it seems.
It was a really nice bomb in by Twink. That was the play that I was watching as he bombed in onto Kane and took him down with 2 beautiful rockets. Kane not able to quite figure out the geometry of the map as he got stuck on a rock, and that's going to allow Project 01 to push up to this Spire point as the demo man, Kane, is only just arriving on the scene to defend. It looks like they've got all the position right now, but they need some cap time as they're locking Seagulls in the lobby.
Yeah, you can see the div differences really come into show here. Like, teams are a lot more like, they get away with these little mistakes like just hanging about, and teams just let them like just get out for free and just things like that. But it seems like blue comes out here to try and defend this Spire. Oh, blue, I mean red, and they get punished heavily for it seems.
Only Shalala, Zub and Kane left alive to defend this last point. Shalala putting a bit of nice damage onto Mankey, but Mankey in the sneaky at the moment. Quartz and Scissors combine to take down Shalala with a nice pipe there, but they're getting spawners all the time as Kane, the demo man, has now respawned. And everybody on Project 01 on such low health.
Yeah, you would think after such a big victory like that, they would just like maybe slow down the game and just like take this last point slowly, as last points are a lot harder to hold, especially with those respawners coming in, and those respawners really helped. About 3 or 4 of them came up and it just like completely turned the tide of that last hold there.
And now with 2 down, it looks like the Seagulls want to take this Spire again. Sprayer and Morgus are gonna... Oh, Sprayer and Morgus have actually been disconnected. Sprayer putting no heals on the rest of his team while as they try and defend this. Rotates around to choke. He does still have a little bit of an Uber advantage, but T's gonna bomb in on him, trying to force Quartz and Sprayer out of that choke point and get these scouts off the Spire. But Scissors and Mankey taking such good position on the Spire, defending those soldiers. And this is going to allow Project 01 to defend completely.
Yeah, Seagulls looking very sheepish, pushing out onto that Spire. They seem terrified to just fight anything that was on top of that Spire, because they just know they can get destroyed by the demo man who's on the ground, get counter-jumped by the soldiers who are sitting back, and just get destroyed in the scouts who are sitting on point, defending it. But still, it should have been the fight they should have taken, but in the end they decided to just back out, and there's hope for another miraculous last hold.
The Uber has come in. Again, it is Morgus and Quartz being Ubered on this right-hand side. This time they focus down the heavy incredibly well, and Twink comes in to force the Uber from Seagulls. They have lost Twink and Quartz though, and now Mankey goes down. If they want to repush this, they're going to have to get buffs and rotate quickly, but no, they've backed out onto the Spire. The 3v5 situation not favourable for them. They're not going to try and abuse a flank, and this is going to give Seagulls the Spire. Scissors, the only one in cave currently, still a little bit far in for my liking. Hopefully he won't get picked off, but he now meets up with Twink.
Yeah, it seems like a very easy second for them to take. Just Seagulls, not Seagulls, the Project 1 there, like whilst they did take out the heavy eventually, it just took too many resources and it just took too long to take out the heavy, causing them all to just waste that entire Uber on that one heavy, and that's exactly what Seagulls wanted.
And now I'm looking at the position of Morgus as he stands on top of the hut, putting damage onto choke, and the scouts from Project 01 hanging around this log room. But Twink, isolated in cave, is going to get taken down by T, surely. Shalala combining with T and Zub to be able to take that pick. As the Ubers come in from Morgus, they're kind of isolated here though, and they're getting juggled around. They might get stuck in.
Yeah, it seems like, but the red team aren't just coordinating their attacks. There's a load of people are attacking the medic and a load of people are attacking the soldier. But the thing is, like, this just leaves both of the players weak and not really dead. As the scout just starts to go in, gets into the thick of it, takes out the medic, takes out the soldier, and it seems like it's just getting very scrappy on this mid. Now that it's just Project 1 just trying to make the best of it. The medic goes down and just like, well, we need to fight, we need to just take out all these players. Can't really like play off this fact that we haven't got a medic anymore, and the Ubers are just out of the question. So it's now just broken down into DM fight, as even respawning players are starting to come back to mid. This is how long this fight is going on for.
Yeah, and Seagulls have got such an advantage here because Kane managed to camp that mid point. Their forward spawns are so close on this map, and they come in so quickly. If this mid fight is still going, as Project 01 really still want to contest this, they had a scout in the whole time. They're working off his little distraction to try and push in through this banana ramp. But they are getting spammed back now, deciding to back out through patio. and just hold this Spire. They have an Uber advantage though. Do you think they're going to make use of this and try and re-push back in?
Well, if the rest of the game is anything to go by, it seems like they're not going to play off this Uber that much, and even if they do, they're going to like commit sheepishly to it and then just back out a little bit later. But you never know; they might prove me wrong as they roll out to this right-hand side here, almost sneaking up on the red team. They get a ball to the medic. He kills the medic before he even popped Uber. This is a disastrous zone for Seagull, and they're just taking out all these players down the back of this Uber. That's completely for free. Red team are just panicking. They're getting pinched from each side.
Yeah, poor positioning from KNT and Zubas. They are running around like headless chickens at the moment, caught with their pants down as Project 01 managed to sneak in behind them through a door that they weren't properly watching.
There's still a scout behind though. Sushi, will he make something happen?
He's now running through the ramp. He's found the demo man and takes down Quartz. And now he's going to come behind as well. He's going to meet Twink and Scissors duking around on this mid-fight. He's brought 3 of the players back, which might allow the Seagulls to defend their Spire even better than they were currently.
Big play by Zushi there. That was a very vital, taking out the demo man, almost halting that push from the blue team, and also bringing back players to keep eyes off that second, which the Seagulls really needed.
But Sprayer with the 100% Uber against EXO's 50%. They're going to need a big headshot here from Zushi to be able to pick up this Spire defense. He does hit a body shot onto Sprayer and forces that Uber charge. And that's going to put them in a much better position for defending if they can rotate these heals and push out of a different door. They haven't lost any players yet from the Uber charge, and it's on 90% from the Seagulls, but they lose 2 in quick succession there. The Sniper and the Scout both going down.
I was going to say, like, it's not too bad, you know, lose a point for an Uber, that's not bad, until on the back of that they also lost 2 players as well in the lobby.
Yeah, that was unfortunate there. Zushi and Shalala getting stuck in, and they do have a 50% Uber advantage. I would be expecting a push here, but from what we've seen of these 2 teams, they might just let this advantage wither away.
Well, you do see blue team like holding relatively close. They could catch them off guard with this Uber, but it seems like they just don't want to take it, or at least they don't realise it.
Zushi running in there way ahead of his heels, ahead of any support, and gets himself caught as he tries to do some scouting in the upper lobbies. But now Sprayer has his Uber. They're going to push on the dot, and they have an offensive heavy who's going to be going through secret. He comes out taking a bit of spam from Calicul at the moment as they force the Seagulls Uber. The only frag so far has been P going down, but Scissors is taking a lot of attention from the rest of his team as he hangs about secret. But he goes down at the same time as the demo man of Quartz goes down, and Seagulls have got this defense on a lockdown, and they're going to be pushing out here.
Yeah, it seems almost like a miscommunication coming out from Project 1 there. Like some players like backed out immediately after that Uber, just realising how much little they've actually managed to do with that Uber. But like the Heavy and the Scout team were just like, oh, is it our time to go in? And they just went in and just got demolished by the red team.
And not the most successful last push we've seen, but it was a nice defense as well. The Heavy really not coming into it very much. I would have liked to see maybe a re-push with him connected to the heels, or possibly being open to get a lot of position initially. I don't know. I don't think they use him to his full effectiveness, and I hope they continue to use him for these last pushes and last defenses so that we can kind of get a view into how effective Heavy is going to be on these maps.
Yeah, Heavy's really useful on those last pushes when you get those heals onto him. That overheal on him, especially those is it those, I don't know what you call those heals where they just heal really quickly, just go
crit buffs.
Crit buff, those crit buffs. If you get that crit buff onto that Heavy, it's just devastating for a defending team. As the Ubers come out here, it seems like EXO is on the back foot here, but blue team are backing out. They're just they don't realise the poor positioning that Seagulls is in and just back out with their Uber. As it starts to just come out a bit scrappy here, like Scout manages to flank in, he actually goes down to, I believe, a soldier airshot maybe. And,
but Shalala is coming in here saving the day for his team. He manages to pick up Sprayer and combining with T picks up Quartz, and that's Project 01 down. It was their game to win as we neared the last minute of the game, but it looks like we might be going to a golden cap with only 20 seconds remaining. I don't think it's physically possible for either team to win this map.
Yeah, it seems like Shalala has noticed this as well, calling GG into the chat right now. It just seems like all this is just lobby frags, more like log frags. Just trying to be creative as Paul. Kane getting out that last little melee before the rounder.
Yeah, and that is the end of this first map, but we will be going into a golden cap. The golden cap rules in this tiebreaker slightly different to the regular cup and the regular season, in that they will be limited to 10 minutes in order to conserve time. So we will be going shortly to the golden cap, but let's have a look at some logs, shall we?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I'll find some logs if you talk us through your short analysis of the game, TurboTabs.
Well, my analysis is you can definitely see like the inexperience shown for the team, like just miscoordinations, like random, like one-man army killing sprees, and just effectively like weird pushes, and you know, just that seems to like elongate out from either team not wanting to commit. But yeah, it's nice to see still like an even game, even if it is like an inexperienced even game. But so it'll be really interesting, almost a coin flip on who wins that on this golden.
Yeah, I do have the... Oh, but we have gone live before we can even discuss the logs. So, do you want to take us to this first mid? Who are you watching and what are your predictions? Who's going to take this?
I'm going to watch T to mid. I think it's been a big game for the Romans here. It's about what they can do or what they can't do on these mids. As I'm watching T, he's rolling out, he's doing a fancy little jump, starts off some spanter off this mid, taking his time on this mid, it seems. Not these immediate jumps out, playing careful. You can tell it's a golden cap as the scouts go aggressive of all things on the Project 1 team, is followed up by the blue bombing soldier, but red quickly like punished this, but blue's following up their players there. And red just seemed to be caught out in a poor position here, just like getting picked off in the same rough square in the corner by Kate.
Yeah, very poor positioning from Seagulls as they all got battered down into that choke and house area. But they have kept their medic alive, and that's going to allow them to defend the spire effectively. But they lost the scout, shalala. Why are you pushing in at that point? So now it's Calicool and XO to fight against Morgus and Sprayer. But the flank is so much better positioned from Project 01. Unfortunately, Scissors does go down. And this is possibly going to allow them to defend it. Kane is back on the scene, and he's going to play such a crucial role. But he gets immediately obliterated, Morgus and Twink combining. But they sacrifice their own lives for it, and that's going to be terrible. If they'd only managed to stay alive there a little better. Possibly they only needed to sack one soldier there onto the Demoman to pressure him off. And that is a successful Spire defense from Seagulls. And they're going to want to take this mid-fight and roll it with the momentum all the way to last.
Oh, what a synchronized rocket jump. It was like watching two sets of ballerinas, like, just going in at the same time, but sadly they both only got like one target, and it just, you know, red team, Seagulls, just gobbled them up after that, and the scouts trying to support them just a bit too late, and gets gobbled up as well.
They got flocked by Seagulls.
Caw.
They push in now from that log room banana area onto the patio. Twink winning with a big bomb, but he's not going to be able to force the Uber from it.
Scout forces it, Mankey.
But they have lost 2 players for that. They're going to lose the Spire as well. But they've got that Uber out, and now surely with 100% Uber advantage, they're going to have to use this to push out from last. They can't let such an opportunity slip through their hands.
They're going for it.
This is lovely play from Seagulls. They decide they want to proactively force the Uber charge out, but they've got to be careful that they don't overextend here and sack everybody in. They've lost 2 already. If everyone else gets out, this will be effective, but Calicool now too far forward in my opinion.
Morgus going straight for the medic. He's just ignored a soldier, run past him and went for the medic, and the scouts just punished him for it.
Yeah, and now it's only EXO and Kane left alive. EXO did manage to get out there, but they have dropped Sprayer in the meantime. Calicool, who was hiding in lobby that I called out for being misplaced, did manage to get onto the medic from Project 01, and he's saved his team here. EXO's going to have a full Uber advantage, and there's no heals for Project 01, so they're going to want to push onto the Spire straight away. Both soldiers and the Demoman coming through choke at the moment. T with a big jump and a nice air shot onto Twink from Kane. What a pipe.
Oh my word. Man, it's getting awfully scrappy here. Like, it just seems like blue team just let red come in them for free and just like destroy them, just getting clicked.
Yeah, and
As
now
the
only
Uber
3 players left alive from Project 01. EXO has used his Uber charge, and they're going to get the Demo Man pick and the Pocket pick. Kane and Shalala on the point, and there we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Seagulls winning their first game of the night. So, wow, big plays from them.
Congratulations to Seagulls. It seems like just when I thought, oh man, they've made a big mistake here, they just seem to like pull out some huge play that just like overshadows those mistakes they've been making.
Yeah, there was a nice individual medic pick there from Calico, which really gave them a beautiful Uber advantage, and there was a great Spire defense as well that they managed to pull out. So, I'm not sure if I properly explained what's going on tonight, but this is a tiebreaker, a triple header tiebreaker from Group H, I believe. I don't know, I'm not sure about that, but it is going to be 3 teams all playing each other in a mini round robin for one map in order to decide who goes through to the knockout stages. So, next up, we are going to have... let me find it. It's going to be Seagulls. So we're going to see the winners of this game, the Seagulls in red, facing against International Oral Sex. Now, I'm not sure how much experience you have with international oral sex, but that kind of thing can be fairly difficult. So their flag is Swedish and English, so there's quite an expanse of water in between the two. You'd imagine only someone like Twitch John would have a fat enough, for it to happen. Yeah,
it's a very philosophical sort of name. Makes you think. Or like...
Yeah, it's a really intelligent name,
Yeah, it could mean so many things. It could mean like the oral sex in their hearts, but internationally, I don't know what they're trying to say with this name here. But anyway, what are these players on this team?
Well, shall we have a look at some logs before we go into that? Let's have a look at the logs of the game that was just played as well. So I don't know whether we've got these up, but because we didn't get to run through them before, we saw Twink actually playing out of his mind, getting top damage on Roma for Project 01, with Morgus as well at the top there, but Quartz, the Demo Man, not quite living up to his class with only 220 damage per minute, and perhaps him and the scouts letting his team down a little.
Did you say top damage Roma?
Top damage Roma. That is what I said. We haven't seen such things since I last played. Heh.
But yeah, that's amazing. Like you never hear about that happening really. Like especially in those higher divs. But I guess you can tell as we just go down a little bit low into the spectrum, like it's all about these big plays rather than the coordinated plays.
Yes, it can be a lot about those individual plays that secure rounds. Only 3 rounds happening in that entire game, but there was a lot of back and forth action based on those big plays, the big medic picks, individual flanks, and also people overextending and getting taken out as well.
But yeah, it was a very interesting game to watch. I'm not sure if I've learnt, much about Logjam from it, but maybe about that Spire that is, frighteningly scary to attack, it seems. Both teams just struggling to attack that Spire.
Yeah, both teams did have a bit of trouble attacking the Spire, and both teams opting to defend from that Spire area rather than taking their heals and their players a little further forwards and locking off the chokes. It's something that you see on Process occasionally. When you have that big open choke point that's easy to get around, you want the high ground rather than trying to lock it off. The choke in Logjam, very difficult to try and lock off, but I mean that has its positives as well, and I think it has more positives than negatives in that particular instance, because the easier a choke point is to lock off, for instance, Granary, the more difficult it is to push, and the less fluid the play is.
Yeah, but it seems like most of these choke points are quite like open-ended, really. Maybe when it gets to the last point, it starts getting a bit like choky and whatnot. But like, it seems the map makers taking great care of just like, not creating exactly granary like doorways where it's really difficult to push in and you need almost an Uber to enter in every single time.
Yeah, definitely. I was talking to Heist, the map maker, just before this went live. Actually, he just messaged me with some thoughts about how he wants to develop the map. So this map is constantly being worked on. The map maker is very good at doing that, taking all the feedback, reading the threads, everything that you post. So please, if you've played it, if you've taken part in this cup, if you've played matches on it with your team, whatever, please give the feedback to Heist. He reads it all, he takes it all on board. Even if he doesn't actually implement the feedback or the ideas that people have, he does think about it very hard, and he's dedicated to making this map a really good one.
Yeah, big shout out to Heist as well, just bringing this new map in the first place. Like, it's nice to see new maps just enter into TF2, just keeping it all brand spanking new, just making it refreshing for us. Like, I openly like thank for just new content, just to keep these seasons just like different from one another. I don't really like these maps just like, these old maps just coming back in, being recycled, because it seems like people don't like them, and then when they go back and try them again, people don't like them again, and then they kind of wonder what went wrong, why is this so bad again?
Yes, I agree, and it's great to have these kind of new maps for everybody to learn as well. It adds a new little thing to your team if you are all going through a map that you haven't played before, and a little team bonding exercise to try and make up some nice strats and work out the positioning and everything on it.
Yeah, I can remember watching a stream, I think it was War's stream, where they spent a good time just like arguing over what certain points and sections of the map should be called, especially this area around here where it looks like a mountain or a donut, or I don't know what they called it.
Yeah, so